Hi everybody. Yes, I'm in my car. Yes, I'm in traffic. Don't judge me too bad. I live in a city where the traffic seriously rolls at around 10 miles an hour. But I have this thought that I want to get out there before it vanishes and disappears, because that's my life. And if I don't record this now, I never will. So here is something that I think is so very critical to understand. Why are narcissists so frustrating to speak with, especially when they're the ones in the wrong? How do they win so much? How do they drain so much energy? I know with mine, and this is not necessarily true of every single one, but there's this I want to call a short circuit in human psychology, where when we're upset, when somebody's done something wrong, we get mad. We come from a certain position of being, offended or having been damaged. Something hurt us, So if you get lied to and you approach that person who lied, you're going to say, why would you lie to me about that, right? And they say, oh, they gave you their reason or whatever. And that's normal psychology. But if you want to really, really fuck with somebody's head, then you accuse them of doing precisely the thing you're doing to them. So if you're a so-called player and you've got a lot of girls that you're sleeping with behind your back, you can do one of two things. You can try to be sneaky until you're caught, or you can throw somebody off the scent by accusing them of the affair, by accusing them of cheating. Because when you're accusing somebody, when you're laying down those accusations and saying, I would never do something like this, from the other person's perspective, it of course it puts you in a defensive position. That's what makes it incredibly difficult, because if you suspect that your narcissist is having an affair and they're coming at you accusing you of cheating and having an affair, you can't turn it around on them very well. It's difficult because you say, well, I'm not having an affair. If anything, you are. Oh, okay. Way to turn this around on me, right? You're wrong. So it's very difficult to spin an argument once an accusation has been launched. It feels juvenile. I know you are, but what am I? That's pretty much, it's a grown-up version of I know you are, but what am I? Is exactly what it is. Whatever it is they're doing, they come at you, they accuse you of doing it, and nobody wants to be that, oh, well, I know you are, but what am I kind of responder. So then your next step is to say, no, absolutely not. No, I'm not. Well, but why would you do this? Why? And they egg on and they drain you down. And that's how you drain somebody of the energy and the will and the desire to confront you. If you're going to try to get away with something, you drain their energy that way. And that's what they do. My narcissist does this a whole lot. When she's talking to me, the things that she's accusing me of, I know right away that that's what she's up to. It's funny, but it's true. We're divorced. We have a son together. He's turning 9. And just as with everything, she tells me what it is she's actually doing. She doesn't realize that she's doing this or that I figured it out. Whatever it is she's accusing me of, that's what she's doing. And whatever she threatens with, she's also betraying her biggest fear. So she'll say something like, I don't want to have to go back to counseling. Okay, well, she clearly doesn't want to go back to counseling, right? But she'll be using that in the context of a threat, trying to tie it to my behavior. Like, I tried calling to speak to our son. You didn't answer. You didn't return my call. I don't want to have to go back to therapy. So you just need to do whatever it is I'm telling you that you need to do, or we're going to go to therapy. Okay, well, it doesn't have anything to do with what I've done or didn't do. She's just telling me that she really doesn't want to go back to therapy. And, that's it. These other threats like, I don't want to have to go back to court, but I will. No, you won't, because you don't want to. And you see this pattern a lot with, or at least I do with my narcissist. I'm sure you probably see some other patterns. So what do you do? How do you break that? You know, how do you respond to these accusations, especially now knowing that that's what they're doing? If they're having an affair and they're accusing you of having an affair, what do you do? Well, the answer's simple: gray rock, or no contact. But life necessitates sometimes that you still carry on a conversation with these people. I've got a child with one, so there's only so much I can do to go no contact. But I have a brilliant system, and that's I'm no longer the person that corresponds directly with her, and she has no clue. So unless she actually finds this tiny channel on the internet and sees this, she won't know. And even if she does, oh well, it's perfectly fine and perfectly legal, because all of her manipulation tactics, all of the games she plays and all of that are played directly against somebody that has doesn't know her, and has, you know, the points that she tries to manipulate on, she's dealing with somebody else. Those points don't exist for that person, so it's very easy for them to stay disconnected. It doesn't bother them one bit. It doesn't affect their lives. It just keeps it to the facts. And then the second thing is I don't have to interface with her. I just get the news from a third party that says, hey, you need to, you know, just to confirm, you are taking your son for spring break, right? Well, yeah. Okay. That's it. All of the everything that goes around custody and what it is I am or am not going to do or plan, all of that stays insulated from me, from my life, and vice versa. You know, my personal corresponder, it has no effect on them, because I mean it's not their life. They just say, okay, we just need to do this, and about 85% of the messages that I receive just don't get responded to. It's just the really important ones, like, you know, that directly impact my son. So that's how I deal with it. I'd like to hear how you deal with it. So just to wrap it up, you know, if you're being accused of something, understand that you're being put on the defensive, because if you're on the defensive, you're not on the offensive. Say that again. When you're put on the defensive, when you put somebody on the defensive, they can't be on the offensive. It's very difficult, because once they're on the defensive, it turns into that I know you are, but what am I? Juvenile back and forth. Nobody wants to be involved in a conflict like that. So if you want somebody to shut up, if you want to sneak around, if you want to get away with stuff, you just accuse somebody directly of the things you're doing. And then they won't want to fight or argue back, because they don't want to feel juvenile. And that's your defense tactic, because now you can go out and you can cheat all you want, and as long as you keep your significant other, well, with a narcissist, significant other in air quotes, because you're not all that significant. You're just a, I don't know, side project. But you know, that's how you keep people off your back about it. Because I mean, if you're willing to be the first one out the gate with an accusation, and if you're willing to defend your illicit behavior with juvenile antics, then you win. You win. It's easy. You know, if you want to be hiding and sneaking money around and spending money secretly, the first thing you do is accuse somebody else of mishandling the money. Why are you always mishandling the money? You need to be making smart financial decisions, and you never make smart financial decisions. You know, you've got to really think about what it is you're spending money on. Stop spending money on stupid stuff. Well, what about that sports car in the driveway? That's an investment. Sports car is not an investment. No, it absolutely is, and I'll tell you why. Right? No, you just want to be irresponsible and buy that car you've always wanted, that dream car, and you know it's irresponsible. But to just go out and buy it is gonna, is gonna get you accused of being juvenile, right? So what do? First thing you do is, I'm about to make a big, stupid financial decision. So let me just preemptively lecture this girl on how bad her financial choices are all the time. And tell her what good financial decisions I make, drill that into her head, and then whenever I buy the car, she'll be like, oh, you're gonna lecture me on bad financial decisions, but you buy that car? No. See, that's the difference between you and me, and it's like I've told you so many times, you don't understand money, so of course you think it's a bad financial decision because you don't understand. You don't get it. That sports car is gonna be worth more money in a few years than it is now, because I've put money into it, right? So you're not making sense. Okay, so you buy an expensive sports car, you spend a ton of money to put a ton of money in it, and then say that that's raised the value. That's still irresponsible. No, you just don't understand it, and this is why I can't talk to you. See how that works? So I hope this helps somebody. Please like, comment, or share. If you have any stories about related to this, please share. Let me know. We'll see you on the next video.